理由は定かではありませんが、現在インターネットから削除されたり非公開になっている動画があります。特に C 国を批判したり真実を語る映像のほとんどは、数日と持たないのですが、今日はすでに削除非公開となった映像の中から衝撃的なものを集めてみました。
Many people are afraid of the Chinese government. Like me, I'm Chinese, right? I'm a mainland Chinese. If I say something bad about the government, my safety is at risk, I have to say.
What would happen? If I didn't cover your face now, what would happen when you went back home?
I might get arrested, or my father or my mother will get like blackmailed, you know? All this, I don't know. Everything's possible.
So you prefer communism?
Yes.
And you don't think that the government in China does anything wrong?
No.
No
wrong at all.
So putting people in jail for practicing religion is okay?
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, stopping people from protesting, it's okay?
Yes.
アビ・エミニはオーストラリアで活動するジャーナリストです。オーストラリアは香港国籍の市民権者に難民ビザを与えたり、亡命申請を受け入れるなど、中国の人権弾圧に反対する立場を取り続けています。実際にオーストラリアの移民者のうち150万人が中国人で、これはオーストラリア人口の 5.5% に達します。それだけオーストラリアには多くの中国人が住んでいるんですが、だから反中デモが起きれば激しい衝突が起きやすいんです。中国の人権弾圧に反対するデモが行われている中、イェミニは中国人留学生たちとインタビューを始めます。
You don't think that the communist government is a little bit dodgy?
No.
No?
No, because...
Are you Aussie?
No.
You got an Aussie accent.
Well,
How long you been in Australia?
9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
You don't believe that the communist government do wrong?
No.
Do you prefer communism or capitalism?
Communism. Yeah.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
Why?
Because we're here to learn.
Oh, you're studying.
Yeah,
So
study.
you're going to go back after?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, so you prefer communism?
Yeah.
And you don't think that the government in China does anything wrong?
No.
No
Not wrong at all.
So putting people in jail for practicing religion is okay?
Yeah.
Freedom of speech, stopping people from protesting, it's okay?
Yes.
この学生たちはオーストラリアの名門大学で勉強する優秀な学生たちです。果たしてこの賢い学生たちが本当にこんな弾圧を問題ないと思っているのでしょうか。それとも何か言えないことがあるからでしょうか。
You're wearing a cross. In China, in mainland, is there freedom to religion?
No.
There's no freedom to this.
I don't care about that.
Oh, you just like the cross.
Yeah, I just like.
Do you think there should be freedom to religion?
No.
Communist government is good,
Yeah.
even though they don't let Christians, Muslims.
In China, nobody care about that.
There's right now 1 million people in jail for practicing religion.
「実際にこの中国人学生に宗教があるのかないのかは分かりません。しかし一つ確実なのは、この学生には言えないことがあるということです。学生は無言でネックレスを首から外します。
In China now, there's 1 million people in jail for the crosses, or the Muslims are in jail for practicing their religion. Is that okay?
I don't even know that.
There's 1 million.
Not the same thing. Not the same thing.
What do you mean?
Just I bring this one. I think it's very beautiful.
Yeah, I understand. I understand that you don't believe in God.
でも、何かおかしいんです。なぜこの中国人学生はなぜか改めて、自分は宗教がなく、ただ綺麗だからネックレスをしたとインタビュー中に強調するのでしょうか。この時点では私も気づいていませんでした。しかし動画後半で本当の理由がわかります。
Why is there 1 million people now in jail for practicing their religion?
Because I think
They obey the laws for that.
Sorry?
I don't think they obey the laws for that. Because maybe, like, you're okay to believe in something what you believe, but, like, if you actually do something weird, let's say you walk on the street and then you suddenly just go, yeah, Muslims, like that will be in jail. Well, I would be.
So they tell me they don't support them because they're asking for independence, because there's one China.
Yeah.
But they're not asking for independence.
Yeah, but, like, they're part of China, so they should believe in China. Yeah.
Okay, but they do believe in China, they just don't believe in the Chinese Communist government. Is that okay?
No. No, No.
It's not.
No.
No.
Of course it's not.
Why not? If you're in Australia, do you have to agree with the government?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you?
Of course. Yeah.
If you,
Otherwise we will break the law.
no. You don't have to. I can say I don't like what the government is doing, and I'm going to protest, like what they're doing, exactly what they're doing. And I say these are my demands. They have 5 demands. None of them are asking for independence. Is that okay?
What do you mean by like?
So these Hong Kong protesters,
Yep.
then they're saying
They're saying Chinese government are not good.
yes, but they're not breaking the law. They're saying
They're just like don't think it's good.
certain things within the government. So 5 demands. They're asking for 5. They're not asking to not be Chinese.
Yeah.
They actually all like being Chinese.
Yeah.
So do you think that that's okay?
Well, I think if they are actually Chinese, they should believe in Chinese government.
But if the government's doing something bad to you, can't you complain?
No, because if they complain, then everyone else will complain, but nobody else complains except for them.
There's a lot of people who are complaining about the Chinese government. Do you think nobody should complain because that will cause other people to complain?
Yeah. It's not fair to the one that don't cares about China, and only they do. So I don't think like we should agree them they complain.
まだに10歳前半の学生たちがどうすればこんな考えを持てるのか、どんな社会で生きてきたのか察することができます。そして他の中国人学生とインタビューをするのですが、この学生ハミの安全のためにモザイク処理を要請しました。
Many people are afraid of the Chinese government. Like me, I'm Chinese, right? I'm a mainland Chinese. If I say something bad about government, my safety is at risk, I have to say.
What would happen? If I didn't cover your face now, what would happen when you went back
I might
home?
get arrested, or my father or my mother will get like blackmailed, you know? All this, I don't know. Everything's possible.
Mass persecution of religious people, so Christians and Muslims in mass camps.
That's the reason why is because that the Communist Party say, oh, we don't allow any religion. Our religion is Marxism and Maoism. That's the reason why all these religions are being oppressed.
And why is the rest of the world so quiet about it?
I think the world needs to know the truth.
They do know it. We see the images, but they
Yeah.
don't want to say it. You see, the rest...
Yeah. I don't know, but then I think, well, freedom of religion is important, I think. But then people are selfish. People are selfish. They think they don't care about this.
China, are you from mainland?
No, only one China.
Only one China? What do you think they're asking for?
Stupid.
What are they asking for?
They said Hong Kong and Taiwan belongs to other nation.
Do they ask that?
Yeah.
不要乱说话，你会被他们
Just no. Only one China.
Okay, but are they asking for...
イェミニが続けてインタビューを続けようとした途中、一人の中年の中国人男性がゴウズを送ります。するとすべての学生たちがインタビューを中断し、拒否し始めます。後になって分かったことですが、この男は中国政府の高位幹部で、みんなが恐れるまさにその人たちの一人だったのです。この学生たちに罪はありません。教えられた通りにはなしているだけなんです。でも彼らが外国で見て聞いて学んだことはきっと心に深く刻まれるはずです。いつか今まで信じてきたことに疑問を持ち始める日が来るでしょう。真実はどんなに隠そうとしてもいずれ表に出てくるものです。オーストラリアの自由なキャンパス街に地上で出会う別世界は、彼らの考え方に少しずつひびを入れていくことでしょう。今はカメラを避け顔を背けインタビューを拒否していますが、彼らが本当に恐れているのは何でしょう。カメラですか、それとも自分の世界観が崩れることですか。首飾りを外しながら宗教はないと必死に否定したあの震え声の学生。そこには私たちには計り知れないプレッシャーがあったのかもしれません。自由派一度味わったら忘れられません。いつか彼らも自分の本音で話せる日が来る。私はそう信じています。今日もご視聴ありがとうございました。
1931年日本侵占中国东三省到1945年日本投降14年，日本杀死杀伤我中国人民2100万人左右。我告诉你，1949年到毛泽东死左右的28年间，不算6次，不算现在被法庭的这个，中国共产党至少杀害、处决、逼死中国人民8000万，是日本帝国杀我中华同胞的4倍。凭着一个中国人对自己国家民族的基本良心，我们要讲一个真实的历史， 我要讲给我的同胞听，要讲给我们的朋友听，也要讲给中国共产党听。希望他在对自己的民族和国家人民的犯罪的历史当中，真正能够清醒過來，放下屠刀，回過頭來做中華兒女，不做馬列子孫。
辛浩年教授は中国の歴史学者であり教授です。中国で生まれましたが台湾国籍を取得した後、現在はアメリカに亡命し、世界中を回って中国の歴史について講演をしています。でも、ここからが面白いんですよ。この教授は誰よりも自分の国を愛しているというのに、中国国籍を捨てて他国に亡命し、中国を批判しているんです。一見矛盾してるようでしょう？でも、この教授の演説を聞いてみると、あ、そういうことか、と分かってきます。
我是大陆来访的学者，然后我想说一个问题，就是磊子和面子，咱们展开了说。第一，首先呢，我爷爷的父亲是乞丐，我的爷爷呢也是，没有人，当时应该是19多少年了，应该是孙中山先生或者你讲的蒋介石他们在做冰河。我父亲读了4年的小学，然后我就开始读书，然后我今天走到这里能够访学，我想说一个 comments， 就是我觉得你所讲的，我不知道是学术上还是什么，但是从我个人经历来说，还有我周围的人的经历来说，我认为那共产党做的是怎么说呢？我确实呢，就用我们周围一句经常说的话，有衣服能穿，有饭能吃，是共产党给的。这是第一个 comment。第二个，我认为你武汉大学培养了你，然后你离开了武汉大学，离开了中国，你现在已经不是中国人了。而在座的各位不停地向你讨教我们该如何做的时候，我觉得你没有权利，没有资格来讲中国以後怎麼辦？你没有資格回答。
教授がオーストラリアのグリフィス大学で「誰が新中国人か?」というタイトルでオセアニア巡回講演を行った時、新共産党派の学者が「共産党のおかげで中国は豊かになったじゃないか?」と質問しました。すると新教授は高熱弁を振るったんです。
来路虽然一样，但是我们的经历不一样，我们的认识不一样。你说有了共产党才有饭吃，你说有了共产党才有衣穿，那我现在在告诉你一个事实：1949年以后，中国的农民有了土地吗？1950年12月开始土地改革，在短短的1年土改当中，杀了260万地主，把农村中优秀的个体户、优秀的种田人杀了260万。中国从1952年农村就开始有饿饭和饿死人的。我比你年长很多，我上初中1年级的时候是13岁，我上小学4年级是10岁。在我这3、4年当中，我是饿过来的，我亲眼看见千乘霹雳，人衣食服。我亲眼看见农村的农民在城市里，只要在背后轻轻一推，就倒在地上，永不能爬起来。1年当中，我的母亲只给了我1张半斤的糕点券，我拿着这半斤的糕点券到食品店里买了2块饼子，我刚刚拿到手就被一个贫下中农从我背后抢走，我只能坐在那个店里台阶上。好，这都是讲自己，讲开始的苦处。我再告诉你，1962年，中国共产党在10月间开了省委书记碰头会，在这个碰头会上，他们认为从1959年到1962年的3年，所谓自然灾害实际是风调雨顺的岁月里面，完全是因为人祸造成的4300万人的不正常死亡。安徽，我的安徽700万，山东900万，河南900万，天府之国的四川1000万。这些数字是体的数字，是我们亲自经历的。你说是有了土地，有了衣穿，有了饭吃。中国自古以来饿死人的总数都很难达到这个数字，这是其一。第二，1931年日本侵占中国东三省，到1945年日本投降14年，日本杀死杀伤我中国人民2100万人左右。我告诉你，1949年到毛泽东死左右的28年间，不算6次， 不算现在被访问的这个。中国共产党至少杀害、处决、逼死中国人民8000万，是日本帝国杀我中华同胞的4倍。你如何解释？第三，你是访问学者，是做学问的，我也是访问学者，是做学问的，我只不过跟你不一样，是个立场不一样而已。我们立场不一样，是因为什么不一样呢？你认为共产党救了你爷爷，救了你奶奶，救了你父母，救了你，让你今天能够访问，能够到海外来。我认为什么？我凭着一个中国人对自己国家民族的基本良心，我们要讲一个真实的历史，我要讲给我的同胞听，要讲给我们的朋友听，也要讲给中国共产党听。希望他在对自己的民族和国家人民的犯罪的历史当中，真正能够清醒过来，放下屠刀，回过头来做中华儿女，不做马列子孙。说你是中国人，我告诉你，我才是中国人。为什么？我承认的是中华的优秀文化，我承认的是中华民国走向共和的艰难历史，我承认的是49年以后人民为了自己的共和自由所献出的无限的生命和鲜血。是不是？1967年，汪东兴问毛泽东，文化大革命这2年到底死了多少人？毛泽东说2000万吧。然后他说2000万算什么？我们一个福建省就有7000万。中国历代皇帝没有一个人敢讲出这样一个对人民彻底无情的话，没有。第5，《走向共和》这部电视剧是中国大陆拍的，是我们的知识分子拍的。他怎样歌颂了走向共和？他怎样歌颂了三民主义、孙中山的革命？他怎样地记录了满清王朝改革开放的腐烂和腐败？是事实吗？可是这些事实，他们不是中国人吗？他们是在揭露？不，他们是在追溯历史，追向前进。他们也是像我一样，希望共产党能够最后用一件事情来对中国人民多多少少和立下一份功劳。可是看来他做不到，因为走向共和说得很清楚，凡事假改良，必然真革。你是一位访问学者，你首先要摆脱掉自己的感情，你要摆脱掉自己的立场，你要摆脱掉虚无的从爷爷到你赶共产党恩的那样一种情绪。就像我一定要摆脱共产党对我个人所做的那些事情。我并没有受迫害，我也不是共产党赶出来的，我就是因为在85年以后看到了这个历史以后，我痛心啊！我为自己从小受了一个胜利者的欺骗而感到痛苦，我才壮着胆子要写这一本历史书，因为我爱我自己的祖国，我爱我的祖国。你是一位访问学者，访问学者也学者。学者是什么？要学会讲证。如果你今天真讲出了成串的事实，证明没有共产党就没有你们家，没有共产党就没有新中国，那我就服你的气。如果你讲不出80多年共产党对民族国家人民所做的贡献，而我讲出了他对民族国家人民所犯下的罪行，那么你这个访问学者和我这个访问学者就有一个重大的区别，我是爱中国，你是爱中共。谢谢。
彼は中国にとどまり、権力と富を享受することもできました。しかしそれは、嘘の体制に従うことを意味していました。それでも彼は、すべてを投げ打って中国を去りました。なぜでしょうか。新興年教授にとって祖国とは共産党ではなく、5000年の歴史を紡いできた中国文明そのものであり、その地で生きる14億の人々でした。彼は言います。私は中国を愛している。共産党を愛しているのではないと。新興年教授は祖国を離れることで、かえって真の祖国を守ろうとしたのです。真の愛国とは何でしょうか。彼の人生が、私たちに問いかけています。次は、中国からの亡命者で学者でもある女性による、 中国の実態を暴露した映像です。
So there's no way China could have reached 1.27 billion people by the year 2000.
And you think the government is not aware of this, or you think they have to be, right?
I think China's population never reached 1.4 billion. In fact, it probably never reached 1 billion.
皆さんは人生で一番大切なものは何だと思いますか？一生かけても使い切れないほどのお金、愛しい家族、それとも何にも代え難い健康でしょうか？これらすべても自由がなければ意味がないものなのです。レイは中国出身の金融専門家で、中国で検閲や言論の自由の問題、特に共産党絡みの情報操作の問題のために、アメリカに亡命し、現在は YouTube で中国の実情を語る YouTuber です。彼女がダニー・ジョーンズのポッドキャストに出演し、現在の中国について語ります。まず中国の人口が誇張されているという主張をしているんですが、
2013, there was an effort by the Ministry of Public Security to kind of to scrub their population data. So they organized 500,000 police across the country to conduct. They went through the population data. They found 350 million fake IDs from their 1.3 billion population database over 48 hours. It was an effort. Within 2 days, they deployed 500,000 policemen across the country to scrub the data. They found 350 million fake IDs out of 1.3 billion people. And this was actually documented. This whole effort was actually on the website of the Ministry of Public Security. They later took it down because it was too much information, because that's what, a quarter of China's population? Supposedly when a kid is born, you need to register, with the local police bureau, so that you get an ID, right? You get a household ID. Like so here we have a social security number.
Right.
There you get an ID. So the kid is in the system, right? And then you get vaccinations, stuff like that. But the person should exist in the system. Birth certificates can be bought. Hospitals sell birth certificates for profit. Doctors sell that. You could get fake IDs.
Why would they do this? Why would people do this?
To buy real estate. Sometimes just to have a fake ID, to buy real estate. Or for example, my kid is born in a rural area, right? And I want my kid to be able to go to school in Beijing or Shanghai, in the large cities. But I can't go there because of this household registration system. Like you can't move around to go to school in another city if you are in this local. So what I want to do is buy a fake ID for my kid in Shanghai or Beijing, a fake ID, so that later when he or she is older, he or she can go to school there.
Wow.
If I have the money, all you need is money.
So yeah, you're right. That's a lot of people.
Right? And usually the people who are doing this are the ones with money, and they use money to take care of everything.
How many fake IDs did you say that
There's
they found?
a lot.
You said it was a couple 100 million?
350 million.
Jesus.
Out of 1.3 billion people. That 350 million does not include people who have died and whose IDs still exist in the system. Those are only fake IDs, meaning the person never exists, or duplicate IDs, I should say. You have one person having two IDs.
Sure.
That's duplicate IDs. But this does not include people who are 150 years old who are still in the system, and the children are still collecting social benefits.
Right.
They control where everyone lives. They control how much money you make. They control what job you do. They control everything. In the old days, they even control who you date, who you marry. They control every aspect of people's life.
But is this
population?
The population is what in China?
You asked me. Officially 1.4 billion.
Oh, so it's really 1 billion, right?
Definitely under 1 billion. It's a mathematical question. Let me ask you. It takes a couple to have 2 children to replace themselves. Think about it.
Yes, 2 children.
If every couple produces 2 children,
the population stinks level.
Right. So, do you know how many children does every woman needs to have in her lifetime in order to triple its population in 50 years?
To triple its population in 50 years.
If a country needs to triple or grow its population by 2.5 times, let's just say 2.5 times.
Okay.
over a span of 50 years.
5 kids?
Each woman, you're right, each woman needs to give birth on average between 4.5 to 5.5 children.
Okay.
Now, China grew its population officially from 1950, that's when the CCP took over to control. Okay, China's population in 1950 was about 500 million. In the year 2000, 50 years later, China's population was about 1.27 billion. Okay, so it grew 2.5 times. Right, from 500 million to 1.27 billion. That's 2.5 times over 50 years. Chinese women did not have, on average, have 5 children because of the one-child policy.
Yes.
Because of the Great Famine. Because of the Great Famine, tens of million people died. Because of Cultural Revolution. So China, from one political movement to another, and then to almost 4 decades of single-child policy, there's no way Chinese women had 5 kids. Actually, the average fertility rate for each woman was 1.7 for the 30 year from 1990 to 2020. Okay, Chinese average fertility rate is probably 2 from the 50 years. So it's a mathematical question. There's no way Chinese women gave birth to 5 kids from the time the CCP took control to year 2000. That's my argument number 1.
Okay.
So there's no way China could have reached 1.27 billion people by the year 2000.
And you think the government is not aware of this, or you think they have to be, right?
I think China's population never reached 1.4 billion. In fact, it probably never reached 1 billion. Because how could you? You have 30, it takes a couple to have 2 children to keep the population flat.
Sure, exactly.
You have single-child policy for 3 decades and more. How could you grow? How could your population grow so much? I mean, the whole world has been fooled.
そして今回は中国の社会問題について語ります。
Insanely advanced their facial recognition systems are there, and I'm sure that is integrated with AI, monitored by law enforcement and the government to track anything. First of all, what is the crime rate in China? I would imagine there wouldn't be much of a crime rate, number 1, right?
No, the crime rate is high.
It is.
Because people are unhappy. Because the legal system does not do justice for people. So people seek justice. People seek revenge on their own,
But no, I assume not many people get away with crimes.
People don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
And what about as far as like the social credit system goes there? Can you have you ever, obviously you don't live in China.
I don't live in China.
You're not under that, but you know people who do. What is your, how does it work specifically? Do you know?
Let's say your dad, made an inappropriate comment.
On social media.
On social media against Xi Jinping. They could use that against you to say, when you're looking for a job, let's say, they're going to look up all the records of your family members to say, your dad is a problem.
Okay.
He's a problem for you. We can't hire you because your dad has very low score. Stuff like that.
So it's mainly tracking how people interact with other people on social media platforms and dissident type behavior and controlling people economically,
to
right?
To shut you up, to shut people up.
To incentivize people to not
say
talk out.
anything. So as a result, but people are smart, so they come up with convoluted ways to make comments without sounding like it. So that's today's Chinese culture. They have created so many indirect ways or means to say certain things without, to outsmart the AI.
Right.
Okay.
Interesting.
But once it becomes too popular, then the government will flag that. That becomes a sensitive word. So they have a huge library of sensitive keywords for the AI to learn. Okay, to a point that, there are hundreds of variations of Xi Jinping's name that the AI has been trained on.
Wow.
Because people could be complaining about him without saying his name.
Right.
So they flag all these possible words that could mean, or words that could possibly mean his name.
Right.
Yeah. So it becomes to a point that you can't say anything. You can't say People have called him pigs. People have called him 200 pounds. People have called him like a think neck bottle. And
Think neck bottle?
yeah, like a flower vase. His name, Xi Jinping, literally means a thin neck bottle.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So anytime you say, well, I bought a thin neck bottle, flags. It got flagged.
Wow.
You know, there's so many variations. So what are you going to do with a the AI is going to flag everything. When that happens, it's meaningless. You may as well let everyone say everything. You know, with bad social scoring, you're not allowed to leave certain areas, right? You're confined to that area. So if you go beyond that, then your digital devices will not work. Like you cannot buy tickets, or you cannot get on public transportation, or your banking will shut down when you go beyond that boundary. And now with the banking, with the financial difficulties, they limit the amount of money you can take out from your bank. Like if you want to take out certain amount of money, they want you to provide. They don't tell you cannot take money. They just make it so difficult that you may end up just giving up.
そしてこの男性はウィンストン・ステルゼルというアメリカの YouTuber で、中国の検閲対象になったアメリカ人の一人です。中国に14年間住んでいて、自分が感じた中国を批判した結果です。現在は中国を追放され、アメリカで活動しています。彼もあるポッドキャストに出演して中国社会の問題点について語ります。
China's got this gray area, right? As long as you're doing something that's patriotic, they don't care what you're doing. That's why you have this situation where you've got overseas Chinese students, and this you can actually equate the two together. If you go to like a university overseas in Australia or America or the UK, if there's like a pro-Hong Kong democracy movement or they have a protest, the pro-CCP international students will go there, they will vandalize signs, they will spray paint over things, they'll tear down the Lenin walls, they'll scream and shout and be aggressive and terrible towards the other students. And never once have any of the Chinese consulates spoken against that. They often say, oh no, they're just being patriotic, or they may have been a little bit too patriotic, but you know, they're just doing good for their country. They never speak against it, they only encourage it. And it's the same with the VPNs. So, you know, they can break the law all they want, but as long as they're doing it, you know, pro-China.
I think happened was when these forums, we read the Chinese forums all the time and try to stay up to date with what the netizens are talking about. And what we saw is all this brigading, right? So go over here. They said this video is, or in this video they said China's bad, Chinese people are bad, the Chinese government's bad, blah, blah, blah. And I think the Chinese government probably saw a huge influx of patriotic netizens hopping over to go leave hate comments and all this kind of stuff. And they have to have a rein on that. They have to control that narrative, right? So they allow it to a certain point. And this is my theory of why there's so many pro-Western China YouTubers, China-based YouTubers. I'm not going to go off and say like, oh yeah, they're paid by the CCP, all this kind of stuff. I have no proof of that yet. But what I can see is that they're allowing to thrive. They're allowing to flourish. And they're in the forums, these hate forums and stuff that usually talk about us. Now there's a white face to talk about how awesome the CCP is, how awesome China is. And it's this beautiful, comfortable echo chamber. It's very cushy for them. Now they can go over and see this white dude being like, no, you're absolutely right.
During some of my phases of YouTube, I was approached multiple times by organizations in China who said, we will give you subtitles, we will do subtitles for you, we will do this, and we will get you onto the Chinese internet, and we'll guarantee you a large Chinese audience. This was part of the package they were offering me, you see? And I think this is what's happening with a lot of these pro-China YouTubers, is what they're doing is they're being approached by these groups. I promise you, putting subtitles into a video is a tough job. It's not something just anyone can do. First of all, you have to make sure your translations are accurate, right? Second of all, getting the timing right and doing the actual subtitle file to make it actually work is a pain in the ass. And nobody who's got like maybe a small amount of subscribers, sub 100,000 subscribers or whatever, has the time or efforts. They've got teams doing the work for free. Whether they're being paid or not, I don't know. I was never offered payment, but what I was offered was the reward of a big audience.
Yes.
And you do see this happen because as soon as you do these kind of pro-China videos and you have your subtitles, what'll happen is the word will be spread and it'll be put out like, go support this guy, and then everyone hops on a VPN, they go there, they subscribe and they thumbs up. And that's why you can see small channels overnight getting very big. As a foreigner, if you go to China, you get a lot of attention, right? and a lot of opportunities that you would never have had back home. So let's say you are a loser drug addict and you go to China. All of a sudden you have all these people saying, wow, you're so handsome, or, you know, let's be friends, and they're treating you to dinners, and they're giving you business opportunities. You can be the white monkey in my company, you know, I'll give you a high position in my company because you're a foreigner. And they're like, look how important I am, look how awesome China is. China's giving me all these opportunities.
Right.
So all of a sudden, to them, China is way better than where they're from, because back home they're just like a nobody or a loser, or maybe just weren't very successful. China's all about censorship, right? And controlling the narrative, and that's where we come in. In China, they can shut anyone down straight away. Okay, they have the right. It doesn't matter what platform you're on. You can say something that the government doesn't like, and immediately the company that owns that, like Twitter type thing, like Weibo or something, they must take it down. If the government says take it down, they have to take it down. They don't have a choice.
いかがでしたか？この問題についてどう思いますか？コメント欄で教えてください。
Why you're touching her? Stop touching her! Don't touch her, please. Do not touch her, please. You are not the same age. Please do not touch her. Don't touch her. Please don't touch her. Please don't. Yeah, don't touch her. Stop judging. Stop judging. Why are you calling us communists?
Because you got a communist flag in your hand.
Oh my God.
Is that not? Is that?
Please educate yourself. All right. Please educate yourself.
So that's not.
Who are you? Who are you? Why you say like this way? Who are you? Who are you?
Yeah.
ブレンダン・カバナーはピアニスト兼 YouTuber で、ロンドンの公共の場でピアノを演奏し、人々との心温まる交流を繰り広げる感動的な映像を制作しています。ところがある日の出来事をきっかけに、この YouTuber は世界中、特に中国で一躍注目を浴びることになりました。ブレンダンは日本のテレビ番組の撮影のため、ロンドンのある広場でピアノを演奏しながら撮影の準備をしていました。
We're making another program about the public piano, but this time we're for Japan. For Japan, yeah.
そんな中、アジア系のグループが現れ、ブレンダンは彼らを日本の撮影チームだと思い込んで挨拶をしました。ところが彼らは中国共産党の広報団で、赤い服に身を包んだアデリナ・チャンという女性は、イギリスで行われるすべての共産党イベントの司会を務めるイギリス市民であり、中国当局の関係者でした。特に赤いマフラーをしたこの男性を覚えておいてください。この男性の名前はニュートン・レンで、後に騒動の中心人物となります。しかし、この時はまだ笑顔を見せており、ブレンダンに対して敵意を見せることはありませんでした。お互いに握手を交わし、彼らの中の一人はブレンダンと一緒にピアノを弾き、アデリナは踊りながら和やかな時間を過ごしていました。その後、日本の撮影チームが到着し、ブレンダンを視聴者にこれから撮影に入りますと告げて、本番の準備を始めます。そして同じ頃、共産党広報団も自分たちのイベントを始めようとしていました。国旗を取り出し、何か書かれた黄色い紙を広げ間から準備を進めているのが見えました。ここで改めて確認しておきましょう。ここはイギリス・ロンドンの広場であり、公共の場では誰でも自由に撮影ができます。数分後、誰かから指示を受けたかのように、中国人グループの一人がブレンダンに近づいて話しかけました。
I miss it because we're here film for Chinese TV as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you film as all of us in your cameras?
I don't know. Are we allowed?
No.
We're not allowed.
Yeah. So
we're not allowed.
You're not allowed because we're for Chinese TV.
Oh, okay.
This is non-disclosable.
It's not disco.
Yeah, not disclosable.
It's no disco.
It's not disclosable.
It's not disclosable.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So did you film the part that we're in?
So will we get in trouble with the Chinese government?
Maybe not. I don't know. But he said you.
そして赤いマフラーのニュートン・レンも再び笑顔で近づいてきました。おそらく自分たちにブレンダンの撮影を止めさせる権限があると思ったのでしょう。実に公平な態度をとってきたのです。
We're not allowed to film you, is that right?
So basically, we will much appreciate it when you are, whatever you're doing, that you don't put our face on TV.
Yes.
Just making sure you're not recording us, yeah? Because if you are recording us, that when we are saying this, you're still recording, and then we will put a legal action into it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we will put a legal action
really?
into it.
For what?
We will.
Legal
I'm
action
sorry, this is the end of the conversation. This is our right we're protecting, and that's it.
But what right? I don't understand.
Image right.
Image right?
Yeah, we're not sharing this image right.
Are you from China?
That's not a question. The only thing we are arguing is that we are protecting our own image right. You're not sharing.
But we're in public.
Yeah, exactly. No sharing.
So we're not allowed
no
to share?
sharing. Yes, no sharing us. Share yourself, that's fine, no sharing us. One day,
the thing is, we're in a
I'm
free,
really sorry, we're on a schedule here.
So me too, but we're in a free country, mate.
That's true.
We're
You're
not
in
in
a free
communist
country.
China now, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry, this is racist now.
We're in a free country, mate. We can film where we want. You can call the police if you want. I'll be quite happy to call the police, you know. But listen, we're all free here, mate.
This is free, but we don't want
When
to
you're
share
in Rome,
images.
you do as the Romans do. Sorry.
ブレンダンはかなり戸惑っているようでした。というのも、彼は中国人グループに撮影を頼んだわけでもないのに、自分が撮影している場所にやってきて、これから自分たちが撮影するからやめてくれと要求されたからです。後で分かったことですが、彼らもピアノを使う必要があり、なぜか自分たちに優先権があると勘違いしていたのです。
I tell you, I just tell my choice. Yeah, we don't want to show our image.
Okay, well, you gotta walk away then.
So, yeah. Then, but we want to use this piano. This is a public one.
Yes.
It's a public
It's public,
one.
but
We can use it as well. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, and anyone can film because in the UK it's a free country,
That's
and anyone
but
can
we
film.
have image right. We have
Not in
image.
public. In
No,
China,
no.
but we're not in China.
No. I have my choice. I don't
No,
want
but
my.
we are in Britain, Great Britain. We're not in
I
China.
say I'm also British. I'm also British. Okay. I'm also British. I'm also British.
アダリーナは自分もイギリス人だと実に4回も繰り返しました。中国は二重国籍を認めていないため、彼女がイギリス国籍を選んだのなら、中国国籍は放棄したはずです。それなのに、彼女は中国国旗を振り、中国共産党の広報撮影を行い、中国のテレビ局と仕事をしていました。
It doesn't matter. Why you're touching her? Stop touching her! Don't touch her, please. Do not touch her. Please, you are not the same age. Please do not touch her. Don't touch her. Please don't touch her. Please don't. Yeah, don't touch her. Don't touch her.
ブレンダンが国旗に軽く触れただけで、ニュートン・レンウは突然声を荒げました。まるでブレンダンが何か許されないことをしたかのように。
Because you're touching my friend. Are you allowing her to touch you?
I touched the flag.
No.
I touched the flag.
Doesn't matter. You're approaching her with your hand.
You're getting a bit aggressive. You
No.
I think we better leave this.
Listen, mate.
I'm sorry, you can't touch her. Please don't touch her. Please don't touch her. Please don't touch her. Please don't reach your hand. Please say sorry to her.
Well, I want you to
Please say sorry to her.
No, we're not in China, mate.
That's fine. We're not talking about race. This is not a racist issue. Please don't call us we're not in China. This is the moment that you're trying to reach your hand, touch her without her permission.
I don't want to touch her at all.
That's good. Stay away. Don't touch her.
Well,
don't touch her. Stay away.
We're in a
Stay
free
away.
country now, mate.
Stay away.
You're
Don't
not
touch her.
obviously
Don't
used to
touch her.
democracy.
Do not touch her. Do not touch her.
I'm not touching
Do not
anyone.
touch her. Do not touch her.
I don't know why
Do
you
not
get-
touch her. Do not touch her.
Do you want to keep
Do
saying
not
that?
touch her.
I'm waiting for it.
What's her name?
What's my name?
Yeah.
What's your name?
What's her name? Are you trying to answer or not? Do you want to answer? If you don't want to answer, that's your right.
What's your
You don't
name?
need to answer.
Oh, is it my right? Are you going to tell me my rights?
No, I'm not telling you anything. I just want you to not reach your hand to my friend and
And
don't
I
touch
don't
your
want you to
friend.
shout, mate.
No,
I'm a
that's
shout,
fine.
mate.
If you don't reach your hand, that's fine.
I'm not. Are you going to apologise?
そしてここで世界中の人々が呆れ返るようなやり取りが繰り広げられます。
Are you in the Communist Party or something?
Stop judging. Stop judging. Why are you calling us communists? Why?
Because you've got a communist flag
We
in
got
your
the
hand.
flag of any country. Why are you discriminating a different country?
I'm not
Why are you
discriminating.
discriminating a different country?
Why are you getting excited?
Because you're
getting your knickers
discriminating
in
another country.
How am I discriminating?
Yeah, you're saying we're communists, we're holding a flag.
Yeah, because you've got a communist flag in your hand.
Oh my God.
Is that not? Is that
Please
a
educate yourself, all
So
right?
that's
Please
not a
educate yourself.
So that's not a communist
A
flag.
country is different from the political agenda. That is not the same
Is that
matter.
a communist flag?
That's
Yes
not
or
the
no?
same- that's
So
not
it's
the same
not.
thing. Because this is a reason that he's being racist and calling us communists and all that thing. And he was trying to reach his hand to my friend. We can't protect ourselves. He's done something wrong, and I can't.
No. We have right. We don't want to camera us. Yeah.
That's fine.
No.
That's fine.
What can you say? Why not? It's our choice. It's our
but
choice.
she's saying we're
it's
not
our
allowed
right.
to.
It's our right.
He was here already.
You cannot say like this way. You cannot say like this way. You cannot say like this way. Who are you? Who are you? Why you say like this way? Who are you? Who are you?
So basically, they were filming, and we say we're nicely approaching them. So please use our image. Is that right? I know, but we're...
ニュートンとアドリーナは数十回もの共産党イベントを仕切ってきた人物で、ここに登場した全員が共産党の一員です。それなのにニュートンはなぜ俺たちを共産党と呼ぶんだと怒り出したのです。他国で共産党の国旗を振りながらテレビ撮影をしているのに、世界中の人々に対してそう、私は共産党員ですと胸を張って言えないのでしょうか。これは彼らが自分たちの国にどれだけ誇りを持てず後ろめたさを感じているかを如実に示す悲しい光景です。この映像は瞬く間に世界中に広まり、ブレンダンはイギリスの人気トーク番組ピアース・モーガンのインタビューに出演することになります。
Chinese people in the background with their flags come over and sort of believe they have the right to stop you filming and doing what you're doing. It was totally bizarre. He got very angry at that guy. But I also thought the policewoman who came over to you, I didn't like what she was doing either, which was almost acquiescing to this.
Well, absolutely. She completely took the side of the Chinese. Because they mentioned the R word, racist, she melted like a jelly. And
nothing you said was racist at all.
Well, I think she said her beef with me was that I said we're not in China now.
Yeah.
And she found that an extremely offensive phrase because she said that would hurt the feelings of the Chinese around the piano. And you can hear her whispering, "You can't say that." And I said, "What?" And she said, "You can't say we're not in China now." I said, "That's a factual statement."
彼らは自分たちを撮影させませんでしたが、実は彼らは2台のカメラでブレンダンを撮影していたのです。
But she didn't.
And the irony is they were filming themselves, some kind of commercial.
Sure, and they were also filming me. It's been pointed out if you actually watch the video. There's a guy in a gimbal from the CCP group that was there who was constantly filming me. One of the girls was filming me, but they said I wasn't allowed to film them and that I needed to delete my footage because they had a disclaimer that no one was allowed to film them in the station.
Quite bizarre. It's really hit a nerve. Over 6 million people have now watched this online.
さらに彼らは警察を呼び、その警察の対応にも世界中の人々が疑問を呈しました。これについてブレンダンはインタビューでこう語ります。
There was about 5 of them, and one of the group went and got the police and said that we've got here a violent thug who is threatening us and is calling us communists, and we feel threatened. And he also needs to delete his footage. And the police lady immediately took their side, and she gave me quite a hard time. She told me I couldn't say things. She said to stop filming.
No, I watched it. I couldn't understand what she was doing.
What's the allegation?
The reason why I'm asking you not to film it is because I know that you are putting this on your YouTube.
Doesn't matter where it goes. We're in a free country. Sorry, we're in a democracy. We're not in China, and that's not racist. That's the truth. That's what our forefathers fought for.
Exactly, but you can't say things like that either. You can't just say things
like
that.
That we're in a free country.
No, but we're not in China.
Well, we're not. Well, they came. Listen, Kerry. If I was over in China and I started laying the law down to Chinese people at the piano, telling them what they cannot do, do you think that's appropriate? They came over here. The guy started shouting at me, and he said, "You're not allowed to film. You're not allowed." And I said, "Sorry, we're in Britain. I'm allowed to play." And I said, "You're waving a communist flag." And then he said, "You're racist." So if I've done anything wrong, tell me.
Right, okay.
We're in a free. This is a free speech issue. I'm sorry. This is a free speech issue. I'm not causing any trouble. They are the ones making a fuss, and they shouldn't get the police as their private security. I think it's a disgrace.
Nobody said that, have they? Who said that?
And on top of that, Kerry, you told me to stop filming, and then you said there's an allegation. Now, if I didn't have my camera, how would I prove my innocence?
この事件の後、当局はピアノを封鎖しましたが、映像が広まって抗議の電話が殺到すると、 ブレンダンは再びピアノに戻ることができました。ブレンダンがピアノに戻る日、彼は特別なものを持ってきました。
If you want to know why I'm holding Winnie the Pooh, Winnie the Pooh has been banned by the CCP as being subversive. And apparently, if you have Winnie the Pooh, your videos won't be shown in the Chinese mainland. Now, this shows the power of the arts to undermine authoritarianism. Winnie the Pooh have the ability to undermine authoritarian cultures. It's not just political activism, it's actually the arts which they are afraid of. Little pink, little pink, little pink, you stink, stink, stink. Oh yeah, baby, we're not going to be able to go to China after this. Woo! Woo, baby!
次は、真のジャーナリズムとは何かを見せつけるアルジャジーラ記者の中国首脳部へのインタビュー映像です。
I get how billionaire businessmen can send their kids abroad to study. How do you explain the president of China on a $22,000 a year official salary, paying for his only daughter to go to Harvard? How do you explain all these top Politburo officials who were on $22,000, $23,000 a year, sending their kids to some of the most expensive private schools and universities? How do they pay for that? So did Xi Jinping's daughter get a scholarship to go to Harvard?
I don't know. I assume she could have.
Because
この40年余り、中国の経済は世界最高水準といえる成長を遂げてきました。現在、中国は世界有数の経済大国となっています。
We observe an incredible rebalancing of the Chinese economy at a faster pace than anyone else.
ところが、2013年に習近平政権が発足すると、中国の方針は大きく変わりました。
我们要坚持党对人民军队的绝对领導。
習近平は汚職撲滅を掲げ、実際に数多くの摘発を行いました。しかし同時に政敵や反対勢力も次々と排除されました。軍事面でも強硬姿勢を強めていきました。
将不惜一切代價維護自己的領土主權和安全利益。
中でも深刻なのが人権問題です。100万人以上のウイグル人が再教育施設に収容され、深刻な人権弾圧への懸念の声が世界中から上がっています。
This appears to be the most intensive social re-engineering effort of the Chinese state since the Cultural Revolution.
本日、アルジャジーラのジャーナリストと中国の経済分野の高官とのインタビューが行われました。このインタビューを見た世界中の人々は驚きを隠せませんでした。
Chinese President Xi Jinping, whose government you've advised, said last year China is ready for a bloody battle against our enemies and kicked off 2019 by ordering the People's Liberation Army to, quote, prepare for a comprehensive military struggle. With who, Charles?
There's only one country that is sending warships into Chinese territory, that is threatening China with all kinds of things.
The United States?
The United States.
Last year, the Chinese government announced its biggest increase in military spending for 3 years, even though you already have a defense budget which is bigger than the UK, France, South Korea, and Russia combined. And yet you announced the biggest increase for 3 years. This is not just about words.
Oh, when the US still continues to challenge, as they do, for entering Chinese territorial waters, however you look at it, the total amount, it is still insignificant compared to US spending.
Insignificant, but you spend more than the UK, France, and Russia combined, 3 nuclear powers.
The 3 nuclear powers in terms of population, that's up to how many?
What's population got to do with your military spending? You have a big population, we know that. What's that got to do with your military budget?
Per capita spending is...
Oh, India has a huge population. They spend a quarter of what you spend.
They wish they had the money to spend more.
Okay. It's interesting you should say that because in 2018, a bunch of Asian countries, mainly your neighbors, were asked, would it be better to have, for the world, to have the US or China as the leading global power? 73% of Asian respondents, including Japan, South Korea, the Philippines, Indonesia, favored the US versus 12% for China. Even with Trump as president, 77% of Filipinos say they prefer US leading the world to Beijing. That's pretty damning. To pick Trump over China, that's pretty damning, I would argue. born in Taiwan, of course. Yes. If you still lived in Taipei today, in the Taiwanese capital, wouldn't you be worried at some of the rhetoric coming out of Beijing about annexation?
I wouldn't be at all.
Well, nothing.
Because I actually went to Taipei.
What does it take to worry you, Charles?
No, I went to Taipei for the midterm elections. What I see in Taipei or in Taiwan today is the people in Taiwan have gotten fed up with so-called independence politics. They're looking for better life. Well, why is it 170,000 engineers have left Taiwan and have gone to Shenzhen? Why is it all the 90% of the startups in Taiwan are aimed at the Chinese market and not the Taiwanese market? I think the fact that the economies have become so integrated between Taiwan and China, it leads to, let's say, the possibility of addressing the issue.
But my impression is that the young Taiwanese are actually quite worried that they may actually lose out in this process and also lose their de facto sovereignty as a liberal democratic island state.
But that is no longer considered a primary issue, even for the younger people.
Okay, let me bring in Steve Sang, who's a British political scientist born in Hong Kong, currently director of the China Institute at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London. Steve, is this a new form of aggressive foreign policy on China's part, or is that just an exaggeration on the part of China's enemies? What is China trying to do with its foreign policy? Is it trying to change the region, change the world?
After Xi Jinping became leader of China, what we are seeing is an assertive foreign policy that essentially amounts to China now requests and requires the rest of the world to pay China due respect. And what amounts to due respect is something to be judged by the Communist Party of China, or in effect by the leader of China, General Secretary of the Communist Party, Xi Jinping.
Okay.
China doesn't want to challenge the international order today, but China wants to have a better say, a larger say in the international order today. And I hope the rest of the world will respect China's request, because this is legitimate, this is legal, this is not revolutionary means to overthrow the international order.
Well, in the South China Sea, there's a debate about legality. Stephen, you're smiling there when Victor said they don't want to...
Well, China is not out there to change the international system as we know it at the moment, but it is transforming it. When the UN Agency for Human Rights was being changed, and then China played a leading role in the transformation, the creation of the Human Rights Council, and as it does so, it basically changes the discussions at the UN about human rights. Now China is not at much of the receiving end of criticism on human rights.
Charles, one of the reasons so many people abroad are worried about Chinese foreign and defense policies right now is because you have a president who at home appears to be bent on increasing his own power and reach. Chinese presidents since Mao, as you know, tended to serve 5 or 10 years in office. But President Xi has cracked down on his rivals, refused to designate a successor, and last year got rid of term limits. He's gearing up to be president for life, isn't he? Dictator-in-chief.
Okay, 2 things. Number one, it's a one-party system.
We don't...
And thank God. The key issue for the Chinese government is that they tried very hard over the years to maintain stability. You're claiming this president for life thing is precisely you don't understand how the system works.
Okay, explain it.
Now, take Hu Jintao, for example. During his second term was seen as lame duck for the entire second term. And he couldn't implement or execute a lot of things that he wanted to execute. It doesn't mean that he's actually going to continue for another term, but that prospect would take out the possibility of being regarded as lame duck.
But it does give him the option to serve for life legally within the system.
If it goes in that direction.
He does seem to be going in that direction.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Quick question though, on the vote last year in March, that was the vote in the National People's Congress to get rid of term limits, the delegates voted, 2,964 of them voted, 2 of them voted against. 2,959 voted in favour. Was that a free and fair election? I'm just wondering. 2,900 people just voted the way he wanted. Coincidence?
No, it was...
Is that how Chinese politics works?
Apparently that's how it works.
Okay. Good to hear such an endorsement of the system.
I think you should not be addressing the Chinese entire system of how it works in comparison to what you have in the West. You have to remember that 50 years ago, 90% of the population were illiterate. Only 10% was literate, or sophisticated or educated. The whole process of transforming that into a modern society is taken a long time.
By the way, lots of Chinese people weren't happy with the 2-term limits, and they took to Weibo and other online forums, and they were not allowed to. In fact, the Chinese government disallowed the words personality cult, my emperor, 2-term limit, Emperor Xi. They were all not allowed to use those words online to avoid people's dissatisfaction with this move.
It's just, you read Weibo?
I don't read Weibo, but others who read it for me.
Okay. Now, there are comments, there are views and comments describing their views and comments on this issue.
They got shut down.
It's not true. It got shut down because I wrote something on this as well.
Well, you wrote something critical of President Xi on Weibo?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. What did you write?
I said, this would not be regarded well by the Western press.
That's your definition of a criticism of the Chinese president. Nicely done, Charles. We've got to move on. Time is short. We want to talk about the economy in part 2. Before we do, there's another big domestic issue that's grabbed a lot of headlines in recent months. Your country, the government you support and have advised, according to a UN rapporteur, according to the US State Department, according to Amnesty International, according to Human Rights Watch, according to plenty of journalists, and many others, are believed to have detained maybe 1 million people or more, mainly from the Uyghur Muslim ethnic minority, in re-education camps. 1 million people, Charles.
Okay.
1 million.
Okay. It's certainly not grabbing headlines in China.
Isn't that because you don't have a free press in China, so you can't have headlines about the Uyghurs? The world doesn't work on percentages. If you lock up 1 million people in camps, the world pays attention.
1.4 billion people need to be fed, need to be clothed,
that got to
need to be educated.
1 million people in Xinjiang. That must concern you to hear that 1 million people of your fellow Chinese countrymen and women have been locked up by your
government. If it's true, sure.
How do we establish if it's true or not? Why don't you let people in to check and count? Then we'll know for sure.
I think people have visited.
No, they've been on kind of supervised trips with Chinese monitors to select camps where they haven't been able to see everything. In fact, Reuters went on a trip last year. They were taken around. They were allowed to meet some people, and the people sang, "If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands." And Chinese government monitors stood in the room the whole time, and no one was allowed to speak to anyone independently. Well, you know, Charles, that there are people who've been in those camps, who have come out of those camps, are now refugees in the US, in Kazakhstan, and they have testified to hooding, shackling, torture, sleep deprivation, sexual humiliation, starvation. This is what's coming out from people who've been in those camps in Xinjiang.
If it's true, then it's certainly very bad. This is not my area of expertise, and I'm not involved in the politics, and I've never been to Xinjiang. I'm more concerned about the economic side.
But let me bring in Victor Gao, who is a very well-known Chinese political commentator. Even Chinese government officials have admitted that there are these camps, there are people locked up for quote-unquote re-education, but in the most horrific conditions, and we're talking up to 1 million people, Victor. How can you justify that?
The Uyghur people are our brothers and sisters. I have many friends among the Uyghur people. Among the Muslim people in China, they are a minority. Most of them are great Chinese nationals, that's for sure. However, among the Uyghur Muslims, there are extremists, there are separatists who want to split Xinjiang away from China. In China, under the Chinese law, anyone attempting to separate any part of Chinese territory outside of China is committing a crime. We need to be fully aware of this legal issue. We cannot tolerate anyone to do that.
I'm wondering, why not lock them up? Why lock up 1 million people?
First of all, altogether in Xinjiang, there is less than 10 million Uyghur people. If you are really serious in believing that there is 1 million people among the Uyghurs who are locked up in so-called camps, this is completely fabricated.
How many people are locked up?
I do not know.
For education purposes, Khairat Samarkand, who was one of the people who managed to get out of a camp, he says that we were forced to sing political songs and study speeches of the Chinese Communist Party. We were forced to chant "Long live Xi Jinping" before we were given our meals.
Allow me to say one thing for sure. No one in China is saying "Long live Xi Jinping." So whatever report you are quoting is false to start with.
Here's what I don't get, Victor. The UN, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, the US State Department, various China experts, human rights activists have come up with this number of 1 million based on satellite photography, based on people who have come out and talked about it. You're saying it's not 1 million. I'm asking very simply, how many is it?
I think we need to just differentiate the realities on the ground versus the falsified claims.
So refugees, Uyghur refugees who've talked about being tortured in camps, they're just making it up according to you?
I think lots of these claims are falsified.
Wow.
That's for sure.
And you're a friend of the Uyghur people. Okay, undoubtedly the Chinese economy has been a success story in many ways. Record growth, millions of people lifted out of poverty. I don't think anyone questions that. But there are, of course, as you know, serious concerns about the sustainability of the Chinese economic miracle, how long it's going to last. The jobs market's gotten a lot tougher. Exports and imports have slowed down. The Chinese stock indexes, I believe, lost almost a quarter of their value last year. Even the trade war with the US seems to be taking its toll. Are we witnessing the beginning of the end of the Chinese economic miracle?
The Chinese economy is transforming. It is moving from cheap labor manufacturing for Fortune 500 companies to a significantly meaningful domestic market and domestic consumption.
Okay. One thing that's been a consistent trend in China that's just been getting worse and worse over the last few decades is inequality that seems to be spiraling out of control in your country. There were 89 new Chinese billionaires in 2018 alone. That's almost 2 new billionaires a week, while tens of millions of people still live in poverty. Why is a self-styled communist society producing so many billionaires and so much income inequality?
Well, I think it's the value creation in society as a whole. Deng Xiaoping said, let some people get rich first.
According to a recent study by the European think tank Bruegel, quote, the large and persistent income gap is partly the fault of China's tax and transfer system and, quote, very generous personal income tax allowance and exemptions that favor high-income individuals. You're a high-income individual, aren't you, Charles? You've benefited from this tax system, haven't you? While other Chinese haven't.
There are two aspects to this. New tax laws have just been implemented, which is supposed to be much more fair. Second is, it's very, very difficult to have a transforming society that is changing so rapidly and to have a taxing system that fits in every stage of development. If you look at China in the 1980s, early 1990s, it was basically cheap manufacturing, and then it moved into something else.
And yet today, the Article 1 of the Chinese Constitution still says that the People's Republic of China is a socialist state led by the working class. That's just a completely false description of China today. You're not led by the working class and you're not really a socialist state.
Yeah, we're certainly not as socialist as Norway and Finland and Sweden.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the rich Chinese and what they're up to. The Huron Group, very well-respected research company, did a survey of high net worth individuals in China, rich millionaires and they found that almost half the number of rich Chinese are planning to move away from China to protect their fortunes and to get better educations for their kids. A lot of Chinese billionaires, millionaires, as you know, I mean, you keep going on about the West. A lot of the rich people in your country are obsessed with the West. They buy houses in the West, they send their kids to school in the West, they buy Western art at ridiculous prices. How come?
It's part of investment. I buy things in the West as well.
1 in 6 said they wanted to move because of the political environment in China. 1 in 5 said they want to protect their assets. 3/4 said they want their children to have a better education. Not a great vote of confidence in China from its richest people.
Okay.
I get how billionaire businessmen can send their kids abroad to study. How do you explain the president of China on a $22,000 a year official salary paying for his only daughter to go to Harvard? How do you explain all these top Politburo officials who are on $22,000, $23,000 a year sending their kids to some of the most expensive private schools and universities? How do they pay for that?
If you went purely by SAT scores, that 80% of the population of the UC system will be Asian. They happen to be better students and they get scholarships.
So did Xi Jinping's daughter get a scholarship to go to Harvard?
I don't know. I assume she could have.
Because you know that his family, according to a Bloomberg study, are found to be billionaires. His brother-in-law's name appeared in the Panama Papers. The Chinese political elite is riddled with corruption, as you well know.
And that's something that has been in the process of being addressed the last 4 years.
What does that say about your model that the Chinese government has rounded up 2 million people, Communist Party officials, have been disciplined for corruption in recent... What about the president and the Politburo? He seems to only arrest people who are not in his inner circle. The people he likes never seem to get arrested.
Not true.
Really? Can you name an ally of the president who he's landed up recently?
Who's an ally, who's not?
Okay, let's go to the audience who've been waiting very patiently. Raise your hands, wait for a microphone to come to you. Let's go to lady here.
Thank you very much. I am Uyghur. I have been cut off from speaking to my family since beginning of 2017, just like many thousands of Uyghurs living overseas. And my question to you, Mr. Liu, does it really bother or concern you that the country that you made home after renouncing your Taiwanese citizenship is criminalizing the entire Uyghur people and implementing policies that major Western news organizations, lawmakers, and legal scholars have described as crimes against humanity? Thank you.
First of all, I have Uyghur friends. If it's valid that there are things which are not properly done, of course it's not good. Of course it's not good.
Speak to her family. Is that propaganda? I'm just asking. This lady said
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Victor wants to jump in. Go on, Victor.
No, for this outstanding lady, I would say if you are a Uyghur, I would treat you as a brother or sister, the same as I would treat the majority of the people among the Uyghur people. Secondly, if I can give you one piece of advice, I would say several things. If any of your Uyghur brothers and sisters and relatives are Communist Party members in China, then by party discipline, they are not allowed to go to a mosque. If they want to go to a mosque, fine, resign from the Communist Party of China. So the government in China has a discipline. If you are a Communist Party member of China, don't go to a mosque, go to the Buddhist temple, don't go to a Catholic church.
Before I go back to the audience, I need to ask you a follow-up on this. There are now reports, which haven't been really denied by the Chinese government, that the Communist Party that you talk about is sending Han Chinese people to live in Uyghur houses, to watch them 24/7 as they eat, drink, pray. Is that fake news as well?
There is no problem in believing in Islam. I have many Islamic friends.
Okay, you have
China.
Uyghur friends, you have Muslim friends, I get it.
No, however...
Do you have people living in your house against your will?
No.
Because a lot of Uyghurs do right now.
However, if anyone in China misuses Islam as a pretext to split Xinjiang away from China, that's a crime.
Are there people living in Uyghur homes in Xinjiang right now on behalf of the Communist Party?
That I'm not aware of. I've never been inside the family of a Uyghur friend.
Unfortunately, a lot of Chinese Communist Party members have. In the beginning of the show, you were telling me, oh, India wishes they could spend what we spend on defense. But is that really something to brag about when you spend, I think, 5% of your GDP on health and 2% on education, which is lower than what Sudan spends on health and education as a proportion of the budget? That's pretty embarrassing for a country your size,
Absolutely.
your wealth, calling itself socialist, abandoning the poor people when it comes to health and education.
I think health and education spending should be more. In terms
Why hasn't it been?
It's been increasing significantly.
But why is it so low? In a country that claims to care about the working class.
It could be spending more, sure.
I lost contact with my old families since early 2017. And I recently found out my siblings, and they are in that so-called concentration camps. And I don't know, are they still alive or not? And secondly, I don't know my mother's she is well, and why I'm not allowed to communicate with them, and also why they not allowed my mother and my relatives to contact with me, and why my mom must suffer from not seeing and hearing from their sons. Okay. That's my question.
That's a statement. I have no idea about his
Well, let me turn it into a question. When you hear such stories, aren't you concerned as a citizen of China as to what might be going on in your country?
Yes, I am.
And when you go back to China, you're going to do anything about it?
I'll find out more about the subject.
It is good practice for the Chinese government to have full control over the information its citizens view online.
Should the Chinese government control the flow of information to citizens?
I think there should be some measure of control, including in the United States.
But total control in China?
That should be lessened. That should be reduced.
You'd like to see it reduced in China?
Yeah.
Do you think it will be?
In some cases it has been.
アルジャリーダ放送で行われたあるインタビューが大きな話題を集めています。登場するゲストは元中国主席鄧小平も通訳者であり、中国政府の代弁者であるビクター・ガオです。 ガオは世界が持つ中国に対する偏見に対して反論しようとインタビューに応じたと明らかにしましたが、インタビューが進むにつれて明らかになる中国の真実の姿に世界中に衝撃が走りました。
Where is the trial for this man you're just accusing of corruption?
He's somewhere in China. You will never see him.
I live in the United States of America, where I can say that Donald Trump is I don't know, hypothetically, an orange-faced narcissist. No one in China has that kind of freedom to talk about their government, to talk about President Xi Jinping in that way. You can't say anything like that. You wouldn't dare say anything like that because you know what will happen to you when you go home. You know what will happen to your family. That's what China is. My guest this week is Victor Gao, former interpreter to the late Chinese leader Deng Xiaoping, vice president of the Center for China and Globalization in Beijing, and an ardent promoter of the People's Republic. China has upped its military spending. It's expanding its nuclear arsenal. It now has the biggest navy in the world. Chinese President Xi Jinping has said that the country's military should be capable of, quote, fighting and winning wars, and told the military to focus all your energy on fighting, improve your capability to win. Victor, who do you want to fight? And who do you want to win against?
First of all, the Chinese military spending is the second largest in the world, but it is only a fraction of that of the United States. Therefore, China's defense, defensive in nature, is not for fighting anyone except those who want to invade China or to launch a war against China. China's military spending is for peace rather than war.
You say it's for peace, but your neighbors don't agree. Your neighbors are pretty worried about you. You go through the list. Japan has sounded the alarm, saying your military buildup is very serious concern to them. India is worried about China on its border. And the Philippines president has warned that China is becoming a more pronounced and worrisome threat, he says. Those are the elected governments of countries representing over 1.6 billion people in Asia. This is not the United States, this is not the West, these are your Asian neighbors saying, we're worried about China.
Maybe you mentioned three of the neighboring countries of China. Let's talk about each of them very quickly. Japan unconditionally surrendered not only to the United States but also to China in 1945. And if you read very carefully the unconditional surrender document that Japan signed, then you will know how Japan needs to conduct its foreign affairs as well as its military troops with China and with all those countries that Japan unconditionally surrendered for.
China, in 2024, the defense spending is going up by 7%, the most for 5 years. You've had 29 consecutive years of military expenditure growth, the most of any country in the world. Since 2022, China has increased military drills around Taiwan. It's escalated since the new Taiwanese president was inaugurated in May. China is not a fan of him. Since then, there's been almost daily activity involving China's warships, drones, cyber attacks against Taiwan. China is getting ready to invade Taiwan, isn't it?
There is only one China. Taiwan is part of China, and the government of the People's Republic of China is the sole legitimate government for the totality of China.
You don't want to use a war, but you're surrounding it with ships, drones, cyber attacks, and making lots of threats.
To eventually achieve peaceful reunification.
Your defense minister said anyone who dares to pursue independence for Taiwan will be crushed into pieces and face destruction. Sounds like a truly peaceful guy. I'm always amused with this phrase reunification because of its one China. And why this obsession with Taiwan? You are a country of 3.7 million square miles, a population 60 times that of Taiwan, economy 20 times the size of Taiwan. Why are you obsessed with Taiwan? Why not just leave them be?
Any inch of land is not 1 inch too much. Any one single person is not one person too many. So we need to achieve reunification
even though they don't want to be part of your country.
It's not up to the people in Taiwan to decide about the one China policy.
ガオは以前、他のメディアとのインタビューで、中国がもし台湾を取り戻すことになったら、そこに住んでいる人々の中で日本にルーツを持つ人々は国家に忠誠の誓いをしなければならず、そうでなければ追放するといったことがあります。そこで生まれ育った人々が故郷を追われてどこへ行けというのか疑問に思います。
You're very blunt in your disregard for people's views, freedoms, dignity. You say that you don't care about what they think. You also said in an interview with the French newspaper Le Monde, once we get the island back, we'll have to ask everyone's origins. Those who have Japanese ancestry, who you basically say constitute 10% of the population, will have to pledge loyalty to reunification in writing, otherwise we'll have to help them leave.
local
You didn't, by the way, you didn't
citizens.
say everyone. You said of Japanese descent. That is literally ethnic cleansing. You're picking people by their ethnic heritage, making them do a loyalty test. Otherwise, they have to get out of the country they've
It
lived
is
in
not a
for
loyalty
decades.
test. Here, for example, in Britain, if you are a British citizen, you need to support the monarchy. You cannot say,
I'm standing in Britain. I don't support the monarchy. I don't like King Charles.
No, you cannot say. No.
I just said it.
Mehdi,
I literally just said it.
you cannot take any action to oppose the monarchy system.
But I don't have to sign a pledge saying I support King Charles.
Well, each country is different.
Let's talk human rights, Victor. You've called Uyghurs in China's Xinjiang province your brothers and sisters.
I know many of them. I travel to Xinjiang regularly, and I talk to many of the Uyghurs. Anyone is serious about accusing China of practicing mass injustice to the Uyghurs? Give me the evidence.
Human Rights Watch say 500,000 people detained over the years in recent.
I do not know where did they get the source.
So their source is the Xinjiang High People's Procuratorate, which has published its own statistics, Xinjiang official body, which says it's convicted 540,826 people prosecuted in the region since 2017. The United Nations Office for Human Rights looked at satellite footage. They say 10 to 20% of the population. Amnesty estimates 1 million people in camps. 500,000 is a conservative number. Let me ask you a question. How many people are in detention in Xinjiang? You give me a number.
I do not have the number.
No.
I go to Xinjiang a lot. I travel almost
So they're your brothers and sisters.
Xinjiang.
You go there a lot, but you
Yes.
can't tell me how many people are in detention.
Listen, they are happier. They enjoy their life. They enjoy their Muslim practices and traditions.
How many of them are in court? How many in detention?
The very small minority.
So you don't have a number. You say they're all happy, but you won't let in independent investigators. You won't let in journalists
Why
to go
not?
there.
Why not?
They're not allowed to go there.
I will be happy to escort you to Xinjiang.
Really?
I can make that promise.
Really?
I will speak to the Chinese government.
Here's the problem,
to the
Victor.
Chinese
I don't want
embassy.
to escort. I don't want minders. I want to go freely. Will you allow that?
I do not make that decision.
Oh! A moment ago, you were going to make all sorts of interruptions. Suddenly I said, let me go freely and speak to Uyghurs freely. Can I do that with no minders?
I'll be
No
happy.
Chinese government escort.
I will be happy to make your case.
Oh, just now you said you'd organize it. Now we're about make a case.
Make
you can't
a case.
guarantee. You are a Uyghur who Victor says, brothers and sisters. Your literal brother has been held in an internment camp in Xinjiang since 2016, I believe. Rehan, tell us what happened to your brother and what is your response to Victor, to what you've heard?
My brother Akbar Assad is a prominent tech entrepreneur. In fact, your own media outlet called him a bright star in the tech world. Right before his detention, he was invited on a state gala dinner and then he disappeared. How could he explain that? According to UN, there's no trial has taken place. He just forcibly disappeared. Actually, it amounts to enforced disappearance. But according to the Chinese government, he committed a crime of inciting ethnic discrimination while he is systematically oppressed. Under the Chinese law, if you're committed with the alleged crime, that you have 3 years sentence, but he got 15 years. How do you justify that? Then they switch the crime.
The real crime involved by some of the Uyghur people are agitating for Xinjiang independence. They violate the One China policy.
They're being tortured. Numerous testimonies the UN has collected. Are you okay with that? Hold on,
As a
Victor, the
separate
accounts of
country.
detainees include being beaten with batons, electric batons, while strapped in a so-called tiger chair. 158 being subjected to interrogation with water poured on their faces, prolonged solitary confinement, forced to sit motionless on stools for long periods. This, you're okay with this? This is the proud
Maybe,
China?
probably you are reading the case in Iraq committed by the American
No,
soldiers.
I'm reading the UN report in August 2022 from detainees who came out of camps in Xinjiang. Your brothers and sisters, but these brothers and sisters you don't seem to give a damn about.
And I hope you will tell your brother, be a staunch supporter of One China policy, be a proud
I cannot
Chinese
tell him he's
Uyghur.
in.
When we talk about freedom of speech, for example, in China, I live in the United States of America, where I can say that Donald Trump is hypothetically, an orange-faced narcissist. I also live here in the UK, I'm British. Here you have Rishi Sunak, the former Prime Minister, was called a pint-sized loser by a Labour politician. No one in China has that kind of freedom to talk about their government, to talk about President Xi Jinping in that way. You can't say anything like that. You wouldn't dare say anything like that because you know what will happen to you when you go home. You know what will happen to your family. That's what China is.
Mehdi, if you do anything, write anything, email or chat to your friends about taking any action against, let's say, Prime Minister of Britain,
That's not what I
President
said.
of the United States,
I didn't say that.
you'll be dealt with
That's
very
not what I said.
swiftly.
Victor, you're a master of
In
straw men.
China,
That's not what I said. I said Rishi Sunak was called a pint-sized loser. Would you call Xi Jinping a pint-sized loser?
Mehdi, each country has different sensitivities. In UK,
So you're admitting you can't criticize the Chinese government?
No. You can criticize the government if you are positive in your attitude.
You can criticize the government if you're positive.
Yes.
Is that the new philosophy?
No, if you can come up with your...
You've got to come up with nice insults?
No.
What then?
Constructive advice.
Constructive advice. You can't say the president's lied, he's a liar.
No, you will be dealt with very swiftly in China. You cannot say that.
2019, on this very show, I asked a question. Is Xi Jinping gearing up to be president for life? Dictator-in-chief? I mean, he's the most powerful leader of China since Mao. He's abolished presidential term limits. He's now in his third 5-year term as president. So I'll ask again tonight, is he now president for life, a true dictator?
For the record, first of all, Chinese President Xi Jinping will never be president for life. There will be a time limit. When it will be handled according to the Chinese legal system and constitution. Secondly, there is no dictator in China.
The president won a vote last year. Won a vote. I'll put that in air quotes. Do you know the tally of last year's presidential vote in favor of Xi Jinping by the National People's Congress? What was the vote? 2,952 to 0.
Yes, that's exactly what I said.
Could you not find a few people just to make it look a little even? One or two?
Many. It's not surprising. It's not surprising.
2,952 to 0.
That's
one-man rule, my friend.
In the Chinese system, everyone supports the Chinese president.
One person out of 3,000 couldn't say, Xi Jinping, not my guy. One.
What if he is the guy for all the Communist Party of China? No.
They all have to follow the leader.
No, he does command huge respect among the Chinese people as well as...
You say respect, I say fear. Do you know how many names were on the ballot papers that were given in 2013? How many names were on the ballot paper when they went to choose the president? Can you tell our audience?
I think there is only one candidate.
Yeah. There were no other names. That's a real secure leader. A guy who knows he has the confidence of his people. You get to vote, but only for me, and none of you can actually vote against me. It's a dictatorship.
There is no dictatorship, Mehdi.
There's no name on the ballot paper, no votes against him, and they all just follow him. That's a dictatorship. Former Foreign Minister Qin Gang was removed from his post and has not been seen in public since June 2023. A few months later, China's Defense Minister, General Li Shangfu, disappeared from public view for months, has now been expelled from the party, accused of corruption. That's at least 2 ministers that disappeared just in the last year.
This means China is really merciless in dealing with corruption of all kinds.
We don't know where they are, we've never seen them again. That's not normal, Victor.
Listen, corruption is rampant in China.
How do we know they're corrupt? They just disappeared. Where's the trial?
Corruption of all kinds in China need to be dealt with.
So where's the trial?
Mercilessness.
So where's the trial? Where's the trial of the former foreign minister? We don't even know where he is. Where is the trial for this man you're just accusing of corruption?
Qin Gang was my good friend for more than 20 years.
Where is he then?
He is involved in corruption.
Where is he?
And he is dealt with very swiftly.
Where is he, Victor? Where is the former foreign minister of China who disappeared? And by the way, he wasn't accused of corruption. The spokesman came out and said he has health reasons. Then corruption came later, by the way. Where did he go, your friend?
That means there is a process, and the process
starts with one lie that he's ill, and then the next lie is he's corrupt.
He may be ill. You never know.
I mean, he's probably ill after he's been in a Chinese prison.
He may be ill now.
Yeah.
He's somewhere in China. You will never see him.
Many other people who have disappeared. The previous defense minister disappeared. The Ministry of Industry and Technology disappeared. The former Interpol president disappeared. In China, you just disappear if they don't like you. That's the rule of law in China. And even if the people there don't want to be part of it, you don't give a damn.
The majority of the people live happily as Chinese
How do we know?
citizens.
Victor, before we finish, I have one question for you. We're in the UK. We're in Conway Hall, historic free speech society. Could we do a show like this? Could I interview you like this? Could Rehan come be on a panel like this? In Beijing, in, say, the Beijing International Convention Center. Can we do a show like this? Audience members freely ask questions. You take questions from everyone. No one's vetted. No one's threatened. Can we do this in Beijing? Criticize Xi Jinping, criticize the government, ask you questions, talk about Uyghurs. Could you do it in Beijing?
Unless you
I'm glad you
have
answered
a
the
very
question.
positive, constructive proposal to make.
このインタビューを見た後、最初は中国を代表するあれほどの知識人がなぜ誰も共感できないそんな理屈を平然と口にするのか理解できませんでした。しかし考えれば考えるほどゾッとします。果たしてあの場で真実を語って危険にさらされるよりも世間の物笑いになろうともあんな理屈を展開する方が良いかもしれないと思うと本当に恐ろしいことです。しかし一つ確実なことは
あのような荒唐無稽な理屈を口にする彼の表情の裏には、国家に対する底知れぬ恐怖が潜んでいるという事実です。今日も視聴してくださってありがとうございます。チャンネル登録といいねはコンテンツ制作に大きな力になります。
次は、真のジャーナリズムとは何かを見せつけるアルジャジーラ記者の中国首脳部へのインタビュー映像です。こちらも C 国最高首脳部、つまり中国政権のスポークスマンへのインタビューです。